Hi, my name is Walker. I'm the founder of vFlyteAir, and I'd like to introduce you to version 5 of our Piper ArrowIII. We have included a lot of new features in this release. We're very excited about it, and we think you will be too. So bear with me. I'll show you around some of the features, and we'll take a look at the aircraft. I'd like to say a big thanks to our friends at Shade Tree Microaviation. We licensed the auto update feature that they've included in their models for some time now for this new Piper ArrowIII, and so your copy of the ArrowIII is going to stay up to date automatically, and it's a brilliant piece of technology. We're happy to have it included. Let's start with the new menu system. First of all, there's a little widget that you can move around. You'll see me moving it around here on the screen. Its position will be saved every time you fly, and it'll be in the same position when you fly again. Here's the options menu. These menus can be resized and repositioned on the screen as well. The options menu lets you set various settings, such as some of your options down at the bottom, and a new option that we have where you can actually change your panel. You can open and close the doors. You can put the wheel chocks and cowl plugs in place. Here's one of the biggest new features we built into this release is the ability to change your instrument panel on the fly. You see there from the options menu, I chose to use the Aspen EFD 1000 glass panel instrument panel instead of the traditional analog panel. And you can see how easy it is to change it back and forth even during your flight. It won't interrupt your flight, and it changes instantly. Other things you can do on the options menu, you can hide the interior glass objects to get a clearer view of the outside. And if you've purchased the Reality XP GPS plugins, we support those directly. The configuration files are included with the ArrowIII, and you can see here that if we choose the GTN 650 plugin, for instance, from Reality XP, we instantly change our GPS instrument on the panel. And there you got it. The GTN 650 appears and you're ready to go. We also support the Reality XP 430 instrument, which looks just like the X-Plane GPS 430, but it does use the Reality XP plugin. I've just reloaded the ArrowIII from the developer reload aircraft menu, and you can see that the STMA auto update plug-in appeared on the screen there briefly. Jumping back outside the aircraft, I'd like to show you the weight and balance menu. It allows you to select passengers by their weight. You can select your fuel quantities, left and right tanks, and it has a dynamically updating center of gravity chart, weight and balance chart at the bottom left. So you'll see you can operate the sliders for passengers, cargo, fuel, and you'll see as you add those weights, we're updating X-Plane's data refs for these weights and the center of gravity. So you'll actually see the airplane move forward, backward a little bit, slightly as the center of gravity changes as you adjust the weight and balance in this menu. Dismiss the weight and balance menu, and then we'll have a look at the checklists. These are semi-automated checklists. Some of the items in the blue checkboxes are up to you to check, and the white boxes are automated. Either they'll automatically check, or you'll need to turn a switch or do the action required to have that white checkbox become checked off. There's a pre-start and taxi, there's taxi and run-up, there's takeoff, there's cruise, and there's landing. All of them work the same way. You can use any of the checklists in any order you like. You don't have to do pre-flight first and then take off. You could fly your flight and go straight to the cruise or landing checklists if you choose. We also have an option on the options menu for resetting all of the checklists back to completely unchecked. You can see here that I'm walking through the different items on the first checklist, and you'll notice that some of the items are checking themselves automatically depending on what my switch positions and throttle position is, and that sort of thing. There's the engine starting. We did all new FMOD sounds for this version 5 release of the ArrowIII, so we hope you really enjoy the more immersive sound experience in the ArrowIII. We'll just finish up this pre-flight taxi and startup checklist, and then we'll be on our way. I forgot to mention the informational flashing messages that you see there on the left side of the screen under the checklist menu. Those can be turned off in the options menu if they annoy you. If you just don't want to see them on the screen, just turn them off on the options menu. You'll see about 12 or 15 different messages that give you different kinds of information about what's going on with the aircraft or the conditions. We also have a nice little feature. Several of our gauges can be popped out of the panel and made more visible to you. They can be moved around on the screen. It's really, really handy if you happen to be flying in virtual reality. It's much easier to see some of these small numbers on these pop-out gauges. Those of you that have flown Vipers in the past know that in order to open the door, you do need to unlatch the door lock at the top of the door, and then you can open the door after that. You'll get error messages as well if you accidentally leave the door unlatched or the door slightly open. And if you accidentally leave the yoke control lock in place, you will not be able to move the control yoke. So be sure to remove that before you start to taxi. I mentioned earlier about the new PBR textures for the interior of the aircraft. You'll see some shiny surfaces on some of the things that are supposed to be shiny, and things that aren't supposed to be shiny aren't. Here's how the aircraft sounds in the exterior view. We'll do a little walk around. You'll notice that behind the aircraft there's more prop wash sound. And as you move around to the side and the front of the aircraft, that sound diminishes. We'll just listen for a minute to some of these FMOD sounds on the exterior. Taxi out, get underway, get the ArrowIII in flight, and once we're up in the air, we can talk a little bit about performance and the flight model. Beacon light is on. Heels on the floor. Full throttle. And airspeed is alive. use the options menu to turn on the Aspen EFD 1000 panel so that you can see what that looks like in flight. Also easily enable the ArrowIII GTN 650 GPS plug-in just by going to the plug-in menu and turning it on. As soon as the plug-in initializes, our model detects that and will switch the GPS on the panel over to the GTN 650. We spent a lot of time improving the flight performance model for this release of the ArrowIII, so I want to demonstrate that in two different situations. I'm going to use the autopilot to level off at 5,000 feet, and then we can stabilize the aircraft and adjust the settings so that we can compare our flight performance to the pilot operating handbook. We'll use the power settings for the best economy mixture, and we've put a copy of that on the pilot side sun visor for convenience. So I'll consult that, and we'll take a look at performance at both 55% power setting and 65% power. First, I'll lean the mixture until I achieve maximum exhaust gas temperature. At 55% power, the manifold pressure should be 21.1 inches and the prop speed should be 2,500 RPM. Here's the airspeed chart as published in the POH for economy cruise at 55% power. We've already set our mixture for peak EGT. Our weight on the airplane right now is about 2,748 pounds. Reading from the left side of the pressure altitude, we're at 5,000 feet pressure altitude. The outside air temperature is +5 Celsius. So if we read across and then down, we should be seeing an approximate true airspeed of 117. If we zoom in on the Aspen primary flight display and look at the bottom left of the artificial horizon, we indeed see a true airspeed of 117 knots. Now let's take a look at the economy cruise at 65% power. Our conditions are the same: 5 degrees Celsius, 2,750 pounds gross weight, 5,000 feet altitude, and reading from the left, we should see approximately 127 knots true airspeed. We'll adjust the manifold pressure down to about a little over 23 inches, 23.3 inches for the chart, and then check the airspeed. And we can see that we're cruising at approximately 125 knots, so pretty close to what the chart says. We had some requests from international pilots, especially Germany, that were requesting a standalone DME to be added to the panel for instrument flight in those countries. So we added the DME, and we also added the ADF, the Automated Direction Finder, by request also. It's not used as much in the U.S. anymore, but in many countries internationally, the ADF instrument is still used quite extensively. So we added that as well. For our Garmin G327 transponder simulator, we have simulated all 4 of the functions that are found on the real instrument, including pressure altitude, a flight timer that pauses whenever you're on the ground, a count up timer, and you can use the start-stop button, and a countdown timer, and you can enter your countdown flight time using the digit keys on the transponder. Let's have a look at some of the custom HDR lighting that we've used in the model, exterior and interior. So that's it for the tour of the Piper ArrowIII version 5 of vFlyteAir. We hope you enjoyed it and learned a little bit of something about the features that we've included. It's time to take it in for a landing. We hope you enjoy